What is the orchestration tool you are using it for retail?
Orchestration as in Airflow, right?
Yeah, Airflow.
Yeah, Airflow.
Airflow
So
you're using.
in small projects, whatever I am handling, for example, one project which where I have used for GAM. Actually, I built an unified dashboard. In that, I have used cron actually. But recently we moved into a Airflow because there are a lot of retry logic and API calls fail. So recently we moved into an Airflow.
So, okay, let's say you're getting the data from any external sources.
Yes.
Like using API, how do you extract the data?
Okay. So basically, for the Facebook, so we have one more project called SMB. There we have we run our ads on Google Ads and as well as Facebook Ads. Okay, whatever the data that is available in Facebook API. So we what I have to do is two things we have to do in Facebook marketing app. I have to create a token for the app, in that app to authorize myself to fetch the data through API. That API is through Python only. Okay, I'll pull the data, whatever the record columns I need, because there are a lot of data will be there. We need a specific, because I have to showcase the revenue on a day-to-day basis, what are the impressions and how much revenue we got. So I'll pick only the date and the impressions and whatever the record columns, I'll pick those data and I'll push it into a raw table. Okay, as soon as I move to the raw table, from there using some SQL logic, I'll do the transformation and all, because there are multiple units will be there, business
Where
units.
you're going to keep that SQL queries in?
Those raw table will be in GCP, Google Cloud Storage, or GCS, sorry, Google Cloud Storage. So from there, that is my raw table using Trino. And if the file is very big, I'll go with the PySpark. If it is not big, I'll use the SQL logic to transformation, whatever the transformation I have to do.
So let's say you have a transformation query, whether it's let it be as PySpark or else SQL.
Okay.
Now you want to have the transformation into the pipeline, right? So whatever pipeline you're building, right? So how you used to call? For an example, you have some API request which is coming in.
Okay.
So now let's say you are getting the data. I mean, you are getting that particular data.
Yes.
Okay, that is with respect to one segment or one aspect or else one table. Let's assume it like this.
Yes.
So you have to build a logic. Like that logic should apply for all the tables.
Okay.
So how you're going to keep, like for an example, you have 10 tables.
Okay.
So you have to transform the data and you have to load it to GCP.
Yes.
Okay, like whatever the layers you said, like which architecture you're following on the GCP.
It's a normal medallion architecture from the silver, bronze to silver and gold.
Okay, so let's say in the gold, okay, you get the data. So how you actually do it, this part?
Okay, so those 10 tables are from different sources, right? So every sources will have their own logic for the transformation. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to write an shell script. For example, I have to pick the raw CSV from the table that is available in my Trino table. Okay, that will automatically convert it into a Trino table. There I have to write a logic. After that logic, I have to insert that into a silver table. Okay, in silver, from raw to silver. Again, in silver table, if at all I want to combine multiple sources, if for example, we have one requirement where I have to join request, impression, and clicks table. Okay, I have to pick one identifier called MD5, which is a unified identifier. Okay, wherever it is matching using the left join, it will collect everything and put it into one unified table. That is my goal table.
So when you say dedicated serverless, like what's the difference in SQL? Dedicated.
Okay, dedicated is managed by ourselves. Serverless is from the cloud services.
Which is suitable for big queries, big data.
So for analytic purpose, I will say because serverless, because it is immediately it will go up and it will start running the queries. But for the transformation and all, it can take the time, and we can go with the own servers.
So as you have 11 plus years of experience, let's say as an architect or else as a team lead, so what kind of solutions you will be giving it? Whether it will go for dedicated or it's serverless?
So for the transformation,
Why? If you go
it
for
is
serverless?
dedicated because it doesn't need. I mean, it doesn't need a quick resolution because transformation will take time. However, giving 1 minute or to 5 minutes to start a server, it won't be a problem. But for the analytical, it is serverless.
Okay, what are the types of storage we have in GCP? Like you have
One is-
processed the data.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you process the data, I don't want to keep it in that whatever the tier we have. So that kind of tiers or types.
We have one cold storage that is there for. I mean, if we don't use that query, I mean, lot of queries. Yeah. Another one, sorry, I don't know the name, but one is cold storage and one is we whatever we use for our analytical purpose. I mean,
Okay. So how do you do this managed identity and like managed identity and then service principal? Like, did you ever use this?
no. So actually, for in GCP we use only for the storage purpose, and everything is from our side. The Trino engine, the query part, everything we have our own open source tool. So because of the cost optimization, we don't go for the BigQuery and all. We have our own. I mean, only for the storage purpose we are using the GCP.
So let's just do one thing. Let's assume you have an external source. Whatever the source, you can do it.
Okay.
Okay. So you are getting the data. So you read it into data frame, whatever it is. After that, you clean the data. Then after that, you add some column. So that column might be date, and then
Column might be sorry.
date.
Date. Okay. Fine.
And this one, any amount or salary you can take it.
Okay.
Okay. Salary should be increased by 10%. So people who are greater than 2 years. Okay. So and I want to write it to the GCP storage.
Okay.
Okay. Can you just go ahead and do that?
I mean, this thing you want.
It's very simple. You get the data, read it, then clean it, then transform it. Transforming what? Here there are two things. Okay. Date format you have to make it as whatever the date format you want. Then after that you want to add the column 10%, which is increased by salary, whatever the column. So there is a condition. Who are people older than 2 years. Then after that you write into the storage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to start from the starting to the end, right?
Correct.
Okay. Filter. Where it is. Some logic. So my logic is like this. I will read the file first. Okay. Well, after reading the file in transformation part, what I'll do, date minus 700 plus days. I mean for 2 years to calculate. Otherwise, first this comes here. First, I'll filter the 2 years plus employees, and then I'll do a salary into 10% of increment, and then I'll create a new table, and I'll write it in a Parquet format in the gold layer.
Okay. So let's see. Can you just write down the counts for inner, left, right, true?
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Yes.
So how is it?
I mean matching columns are there in both. Okay, that's why it's 5, and null won't be matched. Okay, and in left it will pick all the columns. Okay, and right also it will pick all the columns excluding null.
Okay. So let's say what's the difference between like IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, these things?
Infrastructure as a service based
Correct.
platform.
Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and then
Okay,
software as a service.
infrastructure as a service is like cloud, we can say. For example, it's the complete cluster to machines we can able to run it. And platform as a service, you can say anything which helps, like Google Sheet, I can say. It's a platform where we can use it. It's for paid one. I don't remember anything paid. And what is it?
SaaS, software as a service.
Software as a service. It's generally it's an inbuilt software which is available in that specific machine.
So let's say you have a file which is already run. Okay. So now again you're getting the same file. Right? You don't want to process that one.
Okay.
So if at all, if you want to process that, what are the steps you will be taking? How you're going to handle that scenario?
Multiple steps I'll check whether the file, the file count I'll check if there is any extra counts are there, like for example any late arriving data is coming or not. If at all late arriving data is there, I'll upsert it and I'll update with the old data. Okay, and if there is no update, I'll make it as an item quoted thing. I mean, how many times if I try to insert it, that result has to be the same. I mean,
Result has to be like now. Let's say okay, now there is a file which is already processed.
Yeah.
Now again you're getting the file. Again you're trying to process it. So in this case, how you're going to avoid duplicates?
no, if the checks are, false, actually, if any checks are satisfying the rule, if it is true, I'll process that file. If it is false, I'll just ignore that file. You're asking about the GCP landing area or processing?
Like any external source you are getting it.
Okay.
So GCP landing area, that will be there. Okay. Or else, okay, from there only you can take it. From the external source to GCP landing zone, or else from landing to bronze, or whatever it is. Now, if I have a file, I just have to ignore it. If I don't, if I have a file, same thing, everything is matching. 1 or 2 records are not there. Okay, now I want to insert that one. This scenario, how you're going to.
Using CDC we can do. Okay, any new data is there, then I'll pick only that and I'll insert to that available resources.
Yeah, for that, what do you do actually?
I mean, one thing is, as soon as it arrives, I have to check that source. Um, for that, we have to use the GCP data stream, I think. So it picks the new things, whichever is, I mean, any new records has come in, and any updates or any deletes has happened. It will log that into a file. From there, if any log is there, only that log data will get inserted into that file.
Okay, so okay, can you just write down the third day salary in PySpark? Shall we move on to the question if you're not?
Yeah, do not work on the SQL. I'm comfortable. Yeah, but in this I have to check once.
Okay, now let's say, so in the SQL, like what is identity seed value?
Sorry.
Identity seed value.
In SQL,
In SQL.
identity seed value.
Correct. Okay, now let's say you have like DDL commands. Okay, now let's say you have truncate, delete, and then drop. So which is faster, and where the schema will remain?
Okay. Drop will drop everything. It will remove the schema, everything. Truncate will delete only the data, and it will keep the schema. And delete will delete only the specific row. It will not touch the table and as well as schema.
Okay. So what happens behind the scenes, like when you truncate for whatever the series of data, row by row, it is going to delete it, right? What happens to that particular table and then that row in truncate and then delete?
In truncate, we can do a rollback. I mean,
No, what I'm telling is you have truncate, okay, and delete. You have 1, 2, 3, okay, you just deleted it. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You deleted it. Now there is another insert. Okay, so how the row number will be created here?
after deleting, you are asking me that whether the space remains with any
Correct.
object or not.
Any object or any identity.
Okay. I think delete will hold the object address and truncate will remove it. I'm not sure, but I have to check this.
What are the types of indexes we have?
Indexes.
Okay, so when you create a constraint on the table, what happens actually? Like, why we need to create a constraint?
Constraint is for some specific set of rules we will create.
Correct.
Okay. For example, in any date of birth, I mean, if I don't want to include post 1980s or 1960s, there I can mention my constraint that lesser than this date range I should not accept. And in amount column we can mention that it should not be in negative, or sometimes there should not be any numbers also. It has to be in